Today on the Topping Show, Bruce Springsteen endorses Kamala Harris for president. Garth Brooks is accused of sexual assault. FEMA spent $640 million on illegals but has little for hurricane victims. Elon on Democrats importing illegals into swing states. McDonald's to introduce a chicken Big Mac. Ford Expedition gets half of a Lincoln Navigator screen. And Harley Davidson issues a recall. All of that and much more on the Topping Show. Thank you everyone for taking the time to tune in today. Today's episode of the Topping Show is proudly sponsored by Topping Technologies. Topping Technologies is an IT value-added reseller and services company with a special proficiency IT security. Heck, I see their founder at least twice a day. Gotta say he's quite handsome and brilliant. Tease me, see that's the joke. If you're an IT leader or a business owner, you can reach out to the team at sales@toppingtechnologies.com. Also, still trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of the month. So if you can click that button and tell your friends, I would greatly appreciate it. Now, going over to the business part of the podcast, you have McDonald's to introduce the Chicken Big Mac, and probably pretty successful. Time shall tell, though. Now, this comes to us thanks to Fox Business, which somehow is still in business. Specifically, Pillar, who's right over there, says, quote, McDonald's swapping protein in highly anticipated sandwich. Announces McDonald's that the Big Mac will be released soon. Oh, there's a little picture of that amalgamation of derivative chickens. I'm kidding, I'm sure they're the most healthy chickens out there, of course. Now they say, quote, look out, Chick-fil-A and Burger King, which I don't think this report was trying to be funny, but that is kind of funny. They say, look out, Chick-fil-A. Yeah, McDonald's has nothing on Chick-fil-A. That's almost like comparing, well, I'm a gearhead, so I like to do comparisons with automotive. It's like comparing a Cadillac CT4V Blackwing with a stick shift to, what's the most mediocre thing on the road these days? A Mitsubishi Mirage, which, has half the cylinders, automatic transmission only, and accelerates debatably 0 to 60 in a couple days for the Mitsubishi Mirage. Yeah, in terms of quality customer service, McDonald's, you are so far behind, it is comical. So it's funny that they would even dare that make that comparison. Now, granted, my sample size, I haven't had McDonald's about 15 years plus, but I did have Chick-fil-A for the first time ever this year. It's pretty good. I had the chicken sandwich, but I partially digress. And they say, quote, McDonald's is putting its chicken where its mouth is, hoping customers will put the chicken in their mouths, at least, which I didn't think the writing could get much worse. But it just did, granted. I don't have much ground to stand on. I stumble over my words sometimes more than Joe Biden walking upstairs. But welcome back to the article. Say they quote, they're dropping their chicken Big Mac in U.S. on restaurants starting October 10th. The quote, reimagined take on the classic menu item was secretly introduced at McDonald's pop-up chain McDonald's in the press release. By tapping onto some of our fans' biggest passions, from dupe culture, the hell is that, DUPE, to live streaming, we're able to serve up to more than just a sandwich. Quote, Tariq Hassin, who's a chief marketing and customer experience officer at McDonald's USA. Right. He continues to say, quote, there truly is something for everyone to enjoy in this campaign, and we're expecting bringing this experience will surprise and delight them all before the Chicken Big Mac hits the restaurants. So I'm sure they're going to have a viral marketing campaign. And I jest, but it's still, geez Louise, the stock price is still $303 per share. Granted, hindsight's 2020 when it comes to investing, not financial advice. But geez Louise, wish I bought that stock decades ago. Now they say, quote, the original Big Mac has been on the menu since 1968. The poultry version will feature 2 chicken patties, Big Mac sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles on a sesame seed bun. 1 chicken Big Mac is 530 calories, according to the nutritional information on their website. McDonald's, was it internet star Kai Cenat? Cannot be his real name. Kai Cenat? 2 words. He's wearing a sweatshirt. As we all know, Truman suit up. Though he does have a bald eagle on his sweatshirt, so we'll give him a pass. He says he's a, quote, Big Mac super fan, and he's also an internet star. He's going to host a live stream and share people's unfiltered reactions trying the chicken Big Mac, which, I mean, he's apparently a famous, live streamer, so maybe that'll get some interest. And again, shoot, can't joke too much about social media. Dr. Pepper is doing ridiculous. They're doing so good they passed Pepsi for sales for the first time ever, and it's partially because their utilization of social media, as well as having more variants of Dr. Pepper than you can comprehend. I'm pretty sure for Christmas they'll have a mint Dr. Pepper drink, which I joke, wait, actually, I would try that. But get back to the main article. There's a couple more pictures of the chicken Big Mac right there. And it's funny they're talking about how much inspiration it's going to be, how much it's going to be. They did it because customers really it's just a copy paste of the competition. They should have done this years ago. And I can't but wonder, oh, what are the comments section? Are people excited for this new exciting development? Probably not, but let's jump on in. Someone by the name of Knight says, so are they swapping out microscopic beef patties for microscopic chicken patties? Interesting. Got 23 upvotes or thumbs up and 0 thumbs down. Another friendly reminder to upvote this video or like this video. Or downvote it and let me know why. I'm pretty sure everything helps with the algorithm. Valkyrie says, the problem with these chicken patties is that they'll be stuffed in all kinds of other ingredients, including flour, water, vegetable oil, modified cornstarch, potassium chloride, probably just a little or half of the actual chicken. The beef patty is 100% beef. Got 8 likes. So far, the comments, folks are not too excited about this McDonald's. Formy53 says, how about making something less fattening and healthier and much less expensive? I can go to my corner restaurant and food is better and less expensive than McDonald's, unquote. Got 26 upvotes, but 3 downvotes, which, yeah, that's one of the biggest issues with fast food chains these days, as well as disgusting, government keeps getting in the way of business and increasing the minimum wage law for fast food to, was it $20 per hour in California now, which caused 10,000 jobs to be eliminated. Ridiculous. But yeah, there are many variables that are destroying the whole concept of fast food. I can't comprehend how they're going to fix that. Even if they have vast increase of automation, you're still going to have, you'll still need someone to input the food ingredients. You'll have someone to program the software. Either you do it internally or externally with the robots and everything. So fast food is really between a rock and a hard place. Let's see. Bravo New World says, quote, Big Mac superfan, as McDonald's calls him, the internet star K. Sinat. Never heard of him before and is unimpressed. Getting 26 upvotes. Yeah, I've seen a parody of him. Like on a, what was it? One of those funny comics. Is it Smash Gets? There's a funny YouTube channel where they make caricatures and animations of famous things. That's how I heard about that guy, I think. Ruth says more likely will cost over $10, getting 11 likes, which yeah, I'm not sure how much is this gonna cost. Let's see. Any contrarian statements? There's not a single person excited in the comments thus far. Now, Carmageddon says, after going through the article, I'll stick with the Chick-fil-A. Getting 24 love votes, which yeah, the only way they're really going to chip away at Chick-fil-A is, I mean, this has to be like a fraction of the cost. I mean, if this is more expensive than Chick-fil-A, the people are going to laugh it out of the room. I can't suspect the free market is going to accept that. Because, again, just inherently because of brand reputations, most people have a much better perception of Chick-fil-A in terms of the quality, especially the quality of ingredients, quality of service. I mean, if it's half the cost of Chick-fil-A, I think they'll move a lot of the units. Now, I'm not sure how they're going to realistically be able to get to that price point, but that'll be interesting. Let me know in the comments. Would you ever try the McDonald's Chicken Big Mac? Or would you rather just go to Chick-fil-A and probably pay a little bit more, but better quality? Let me know in the comments, because as always, be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Other interesting business news, you have the new Ford Expedition to get the Lincoln, well, half the screen. Although some people do properly call it Ford. Now, this is brought to us thanks to Umar, who's a writer at The Verge. It says, quote, the new Ford Expedition has half of the Navigator's panoramic screen. Well, Ford's 2025 Expedition runs an Android automotive like Lincoln's refreshed Navistar and Nautilus, but without their massive pillar-to-pillar displays, which, yeah, ironically, I work in tech, but I kind of have a disdain for most tech and automobiles. I would love to get like a 2000s era Corvette Z06 or something that's just 3 pedals and just heated seats is the only modern tech I really appreciate in cars. Though that was patented by Cadillac, I believe, 1950, was it 6 or 58? But I partially digress. In this case, the new Lincoln has a screen that goes literally pillar to pillar, and it's an OLED fancy looking screen. Good luck when 1 or 2 pixels start to break and you have to try to replace that in 5 to 10 years. That's yeah, it's gonna be yeah, maintaining tech long term is so prohibitively, it's just I don't know how they'll be able to comprehend that. And there you can see the new Ford Expedition, which just looks like the last one, but they added some more curves, slightly fancier. Wheelbase about 28 feet wide. I'm only partially exaggerating there. Now, they say, quote, Ford is launching a redesigned version of the largest SUV lineup, now including Ford's brand new digital experience infotainment system. Sounds fancy. Something else to break. The 2025 Expedition is the second Ford that'll get the Android Automotive-based system after the new Explorer, but the new SUV's dashboard and UI will look like a chopped-down version of the giant panoramic display first introduced in the 2024 Lincoln Nautilus. Let's see if they have a picture of that monstrosity. Yeah, there you see. So you got the little, oh, that's fancy. Not Ford or Lincoln, but the actual the Verge website. They have a little, yeah, a little thing. You like swipe back and forth. There you see the Ford. Then you swipe around. They get the Lincoln. All right. Yeah. So the Ford dashboard looks like maybe about 2 feet wide in terms of the little additional screen in front of you. Then you have the ginormous like iPad screen in the middle, because of course. And what the hell? I don't know why I hate these things, but it looks like the drivetrain select. So if you want to go to park or reverse or neutral, it's a knob, which is ridiculous. You just have a third pedal to stick, but that's just me. Then you could swipe and you can see the Lincoln. And it is kind of funny because again, it's not just Ford, GM, and all these companies do it, but they say a lot of these brands, have the base model or the base brand like Chevrolet, then you have Cadillac. Many of them share the same infrastructure components, which again does save cost and complexity. But it's kind of funny. The tech does change, and so the vents on here, like if you swipe, the actual like the pillars and the placements of the hood and everything, it is, and then actually the exact placement of the steering wheel and even the actual mini gauge above the steering wheel is exactly the same. Which again, it makes sense. It's the same brand, it's the same company. But yeah, to me, that's just more crap that can break. And they say, quote, the new Expedition, which was first teased with a drone light show today in Texas, looks like it's only about half of Lincoln's 48-inch pillar-to-pillar panoramic display just behind the 24-inch panel for the Expedition. You're getting the same instrument cluster and navigation combo in the front of the driver's seat, but without the widgets featured on the right screen of Lincoln's Extended Edition. The Expedition's smaller center touchscreen that lives below also runs Google Play Store apps, operates Apple CarPlay, and digital, oh, that's junk. It has digital HVAC controls, just like Lincoln. Like this, the British would say rubbish. There's nothing more annoying than trying to change the volume or the heating or cooling of a vehicle than having to navigate through 12 different buttons on the touchscreen. There's some things that should always be knobs. I mean, let me know in the comments. Am I right? That's the one thing I do not like about my 2018 Civic Si, Honda Civic Si. I love it. It's a fun little coupe with a stick shift and everything from going to the groceries to the track. It's a fun experience. The only way you can change the volume is a little touch screen, or the steering wheel. Thank God does have a button you can actually go up and down or increase or decrease the volume. They knew it was so bad because the 2019 model, yeah, they did fix that with the Civic, and they all got the actual knob because thankfully they did listen to the consumers. It looks like Ford did not, so that's going to be built into there as well. Now they say, quote, and they say, yeah, pillar-to-pillar panoramic screen has been a flashy feature manufacturers have trotted for the most luxury vehicles. They're often pitched as an infotainment hub for the front passenger, letting them stream movies and even play some PlayStation. It's hilarious because they always tell us, don't text and drive, don't have any distracted driving. There's a giant TV. I'm sure they'll usually have the software caveat or the software default setting so you can't use it when you're in motion for some features. But yeah, it's still kind of ridiculous. And you got a couple more pictures of it. This is, they have a picture of the Ford Expedition being used off-road, which I'm sure all 18 users will love that. 99% of these are probably going to be used for soccer practice in America because, yeah, a lot of these things that it's kind of sad from an engineering perspective. They put all this effort to make them, great for, using outdoors, going off-roading, and like 18 will probably realistically, go out there. And here's a picture of, yeah, they got a picture of the Expedition in the forest. I mean, those tires will most likely spend most of their life touching pavement. Maybe cement if it's a fancier neighborhood. Yeah, I don't know, steering wheel looks god-awful ugly to me. Yeah, I don't know what Ford's thinking. But again, they'll probably sell a bunch of these units. Oh, even more disappointing, even more anemic. Ford, you're killing me here. They don't give you the good old V8. Oh, they give you a V6 for this thing? Wow. Now they say, quote, at first glance, the Expedition seems like a copy of the Lincoln Navigator with a split rear gate, in addition to a light bar up front, and a similar 3.5-liter V6 under the hood. It's an EcoBoost from Ford. It'll give you 440 horsepower. Now they do say they end it saying Ford does not offer a hybrid powertrain for this, which that's no one wants that. I mean, there's certain things and certain platforms where I should clarify, not no one. 18 people will probably want that, and 6 of them will probably actually pay for it. But come on, Ford, you're known for making a good old V8. Why not? I know the government's kneecapping you with all the regulations, all the fines. I understand, they're putting your tires to the fire, something to that effect. But yeah, it's just a little bit more disappointing as well. And Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how many of these, giant SUVs are selling these days. Usually you see these move a lot of units when there's cheap gas, good economy, and every time the economy gets a little bit worse, people are a little bit more conscientious about their fuel economy and total cost of ownership. Interestingly enough, I'm not seeing a MSRP for this, but probably expect the price of a small house. I'm only partially kidding. But yeah, let me know. I mean, with the new redesign, would you consider purchasing this for new SUV needs? I mean, Lord knows I wouldn't, because it only had 2 pedals. I think there's very few SUVs. I think the only one left in America with 3 pedals is the Ford Bronco, which thankfully they did actually have a third pedal for that one, so I appreciate that. But let me know in the comments. As always, it'd be fascinating to hear what you have to say. Now, going over to the Culture Part podcast, you have Bruce Springsteen endorses Kamala Harris for president. Which, yeah, I always forget he's still alive. I mean, when I was a kid, my parents borrowed one of their CDs back in the day when physical media is king, which still is if you actually want to own it and you don't have it disappearing from the cloud libraries, but not a topic for another time perhaps. But yeah, I can't help but remember, I remember Bruce Springsteen, I assumed he was an athlete or someone who's enthusiastic about running. Maybe he uses the treadmill a lot because, he has a whole song called Born to Run, which I do appreciate running. I do that every day, so I can appreciate that song. But now it looks like he's getting involved in politics yet again, though it's not too surprising because, again, he usually does these types of endorsements. I first noticed this thanks to Yashir Ali over on the good old X Twitter. He says, quote, "New, Bruce Springsteen formally endorses Kamala Harris and Tim Walz in a new video where he calls Donald Trump the most dangerous candidate for president in my lifetime," unquote. Now, this also shows you how mentally vacuous Bruce Springsteen is, because the one time in my life where there's no new wars and there's overall peace was when Trump was in office. Now, he did have the pandemic. Well, then he has George Floyd Summer of Love riots, which I think Trump should have done more in terms of actually getting police, local military, National Guard involved to actually stop them. But yet, governors like Tim Walz allowing their whole cities and states to burn. And yet, Bruce Springsteen goes, "Oh yeah, Trump's dangerous." Yeah, you might not like his tweets. I'll give you that, but dangerous? No, I don't think so. And let's see here. He actually typed out everything Bruce has to say, which, let's be honest, his voice is infinitely better than mine. Of course, Springsteen, he's so relatable. Look at Bruce Springsteen he's in an old-timey diner, which, thanks to the administration lately, a lot of those are closing because small businesses are being stretched thin and a lot of them are closing shop. And it went pretty viral. It's got 4.3 million views. And, yeah, Bruce Springsteen, look, he's just like us. He's got a little flannel shirt on. Interesting. He's in a little, now, I don't know. Interesting enough, he also is in a old-timey diner, which you don't see a lot anymore. Maybe they're smart. Maybe they actually incorporate the name of the diner. They're going to give a shout out to a local business. That would be a smart thing to do. Probably didn't, but let's hear what Bruce has to say. They're born to run.
Hi, I'm Bruce Springsteen. Friends, fans, and the press have asked me who I'm supporting in this most important of elections.
Did they?
And with full knowledge that my opinions no more or less important than those of any of my fellow citizens, here's my answer.
Hey, that's not true.
I'm supporting Kamala Harris for president and Tim Walz for vice president, and opposing Donald Trump and J.D. Vance. Here's why. We are shortly coming upon one of the most consequential elections in our nation's history. Perhaps not since the Civil War has this great country felt as politically, spiritually, and emotionally divided as it does then at this moment.
Right, I'll give him credit. That's true. Now, which side is constantly saying that the other side and their opponent is a threat to democracy and has had only that side getting assassination attempts? Oh, wait. That's your side, Bruce.
It doesn't have to be this way.
Every day, they literally call Trump a threat to democracy every single day. Everyone from Biden to Obama to even the minions on the mainstream media. And when Trump was assassinated the first time, they stopped for about 18 minutes and pretended they gave a damn about unification. They didn't. They just want to continue dividing us.
Common values, the shared stories that make us a great and united nation, are waiting to be rediscovered and retold once again. Now that will take time, hard work, intelligence, faith, and women and men with the national good.
Interesting, he flipped the age-old saying, so he's saying women and men, showing his priority.
Guiding their hearts. America's the most powerful nation on earth, not just because of her overwhelming military strength or economic power, but because of what she stands for, what she means, what she believes in. Freedom, social justice, equal opportunity.
Freedom. She wants to control the market prices, steal guns, and she has a track record of censorship. How is that freedom, Bruce? Does he not know what the word freedom is?
The right to be and love who you want. These are the things that make America great. Donald Trump is the most dangerous candidate for president in my lifetime. His disdain for the sanctity of our Constitution, the sanctity of democracy.
Disdain for the Constitution. Again, your side broke the Constitution. Illegally, the government forced social media companies to censor American free speech. She's literally proposing price controls, communism up the wazoo, and gun confiscation, de facto, and bans. These people not know what freedom is? Did he forget who locked down most of the country? All those Democrat governors?
The sanctity of the rule of law and the sanctity of the peaceful transfer of power should disqualify him from the office of president ever again. He doesn't understand the meaning of this country, its history, or what it means to be deeply American. On the other hand, Kamala Harris and Tim Walz are committed to a vision of this country that respects and includes everyone, regardless of class, religion, race, your political point of view, or sexual identity. And they want to grow our economy in a way that benefits all.
That's why their government, goes and arrests fathers praying outside of abortion clinics. And the government constantly does lawsuits against people who are in the middle and right.
Not just a few like me on top. That's the vision of America I've been consistently writing about for 55 years. Now, everybody sees things different, and I respect your choice as a fellow citizen. But like you, I've only got one vote, and it's one of the most precious possessions that I have. That's why, come November 5th, I'll be casting my vote for Kamala Harris and Tim Walz. Thanks for listening.
Surprised he didn't have a Kamala Harris hat on. Allegedly, they do make hats, and there is one flag that has Kamala Harris's writing on it. I don't know, it might have been photoshopped. I've never actually seen one in the real world. But again, went pretty well. I got 4.3 million views and 79,000 likes. One of the first ones comes from Coach Julio saying, quote, "True patriots choose democracy over dictatorships and country over party. I'm reminded of this quote with Martin Luther King says, quote, there comes a time when one must take a position that is neither safe nor political nor popular, but you must take it because of conscience. Those who speak out against fascism, hate, and fight for equality, you are true patriots and inspire all of us." So yeah, so I'm sure it sounds like he's voting for Trump, right? No. Franklin, the weird guy, leftist, who has a girl anime picture as his, we call it, the profile picture. Name is, or his mantra is, what is it? Vote Harris 24. He says, "Awesome LFG Bruce." Yeah, 318 likes though. Dean Damali says, quote, "Bruce, your net worth is $750 million. You're not struggling to buy groceries, pay rent or mortgage, credit card bills are overdue, medical bills, chemotherapy payments, prescriptions, childcare. You are not impacted by Bidenomics, STFU. You don't speak for us." Getting 1.4 thousand likes, which, yeah, there are also billionaires who endorse Trump as well. I'm not sure attacking his wealth is really, I understand saying that there's the disconnect, but to me, more about him saying, "Oh yeah, they're about the Constitution." I'm like, they just wiped their rear end with the Constitution. They stand. I mean, their actions are such an antithesis, the opposite of what the founding fathers ever envisioned. Is mind-boggling that people don't, more people don't see that. Times August said, "This is the turd that segregated his audience based on vax status and then got COVID anyway. No thanks." Getting 1.3 thousand likes. Philip Anderson says, quote, "Another Hollywood moron endorsing a Democrat. That's not new. These Hollywood celebrities don't live in the real world, aren't affected by any of the issues Americans face, and should shut the F up." Getting 4,000 likes. Elon Gate 2023 says, "Why were there no wars and less inflation and less crime when the most dangerous guy you say was running the country? I guess I missed that danger." Getting 1.5 thousand likes, which, yeah, first time in my lifetime where there was no new additional wars was when Trump was in office. Spitfire says, "LMFAO, no one gives it a AF," getting 2.6 thousand likes. The actor says, "My endorsement is all what counts to me." And it has a picture of him with Trump 24 Make America Great Again hat, getting 775 likes. Let's see. Variant Swarm says, Trump is dangerous to evil people. That's what the president is for," getting 428 likes. No wonder all these celebrities are shutting down the comments on Instagram and other competing platforms. Which I'm actually surprised. Again, this is also reposted by someone. It's not directly from Bruce Springsteen. Which, again, if he really is the boss, he should have a basic knowledge of understanding of economics in terms of, how much people are getting screwed over with, double and triple taxes when they work for business. You got all these payroll taxes, social security taxes. Yet, by the time you get your dollar at the end of the day, it's quite sad how little you get. I'm told he is the boss. As a business owner, he should be aware of all these variables and all these things that steal away from employees' paychecks. It's quite disgusting. But I partially digress. Parker Craig says, when the boss speaks, we listen. Getting 410 likes. We found a positive comment. 150. Wow, he got some of the most responses came from Parker. They're responding to him. Now, one of the top responses to Parker says, quote, is from Big Veely saying, bragging about being a celebrity worshipping Democrat, boy, toy slave is crazy. Getting 48 likes. Let's see here. Halablo Hibbo says, LOL, you're missing the flags in your profile cut. Getting 12 likes. I'm curious, what is this? Claims to be, oh, he's from Illinois, NDC. Claims to be a gun violence survivor, which, if you're from Chicago, you should have a modicum of intelligence. Well, if you lived in Chicago, you should have a modicum of intelligence to realize, oh yeah, the laws they have in Chicago against guns in the Second Amendment that they want on a federal level would make things worse. Because again, Chicago. Let's see. I'm going back to the main comment section. Outspoken says Bruce Springsteen, OG red hat guy. Getting 490 likes. Maybe that's an old video of Bruce Springsteen with a generic red hat. Let's see. Suzanne Lieberman says an extremely powerful endorsement. Got 115 likes. What is she about? And all her profile, her profile. I get she's supposedly an American, but she has a Ukrainian profile picture. Her in her there. She's we choose freedom. Harris Walls hashtag. But again, she did get 115 likes. C. Hanson Arthur. Walls 2024. Where's she from? Again, the Ukrainian flag. Fascinating how they care so much more about other countries than our own. She says, very eloquent message. Poignant and powerful. I'll give her an A+ for grammar or a fancy word. I appreciate that. Says, I happen to agree with him in every word. Getting 166 likes. Oh, Joe Bow says Diddy's List getting 561 likes. Conservative Zoomer says nobody asked. Getting 400, and 92 likes. Let's see here. Eve Newton-Jobs says Bruce. Simplistic, but still got 280 likes. And their hashtag is Vote Blue. The cliche quote, which is true, I agree with the quote. The only thing necessary for the triumph of evil is for good men to do nothing, which is true. They also say no MAGA, no religion, which, yeah, fascinating how much they hate religion but love worshiping politicians and politics. Which, yeah, just they get really irate when you say things like God bless or Jesus still loves you. I mean, that is one of their biggest pet peeves. I would never, of course, poke the bear like that, so to say. Amish dude, wait a minute. I'm going to say this allegedly Amish dude. How did they have them internet and the Wi-Fi if you're Amish? You're not supposed to use electricity, I'm pretty sure. He says, quote, the rustic diner that he rented out, the video clashes a little bit with a big-ass gold ring. Yeah. His working class shtick was old in the 1990s. Getting 456 likes. Fred simply says no one effing cares, getting 185 likes. Which, I mean, granted, this is reposted by someone who's more right-wing, so I'm not surprised that the majority of the comments are negative against Bruce, which, yeah, but it's still, U.S. is about 50-50 split, Republican, Democrat, left and right. Now, in terms of his fan base, I would guess more of them are left-leaning, I would suppose. But, yeah, I think we've seen an era of passing where, used to be Americans worshipped celebrities like there's no tomorrow, buying and doing darn near everything they say and endorse. I think the pendulum's starting to swing a little bit. I don't think, especially if you have a modicum of intelligence, that anyone really cares about celebrity endorsements of products, unless I always have the caveat, unless that's a core competency. Like if Tom Brady were to endorse a training for a sports balls thing or a football throwing machine, that would make sense. He does sports balls throwing. But yeah, when it comes to random things like Ashton Kutcher having a Nikon commercial where he stopped for photographer, even as a kid, I remember that commercial as a kid. I just thought it was so dumb because, again, that's not what he does. Acting lessons, if you were to pitch that, that make more sense. But I partially digress. Do you think this is going to move the needle one way or the other? I actually did ask the question. I'm trying to do a little bit more of the community things on the YouTube where you can do polls. So I did put that in the poll last week. And yeah, still, the best way to watch this is still on the good old, well, yeah, also the good old big green machine, the Rumble, hashtag the Topping Show. And I'm also on the Twitter at hashtag the Topping Show. But let me know in the comments, do you think it's going to really move the needle that much? Or do you think most people are going to be like, don't really care what Bruce has to say this time? Let me know, because as always, be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Now, going to more cultural news, you have Garth Brooks accused of sexual assault. His serial killer eyes were telling the whole time. A lot of people do wonder to this day, where are the bodies, Garth? This investigation that's been long underway by Tom Segura, and coincidentally, every time Garth Brooks goes to a lot of these concerts and performs, people just sometimes tend to disappear and never make a reappearance. Very, I'm not saying she's guilty for sure, just very unusual things that happen. And pretty much every video of Garth Brooks, his eyes, I mean, he just looks beyond insane and weird. Granted, I don't have much ground to stand on myself, but still. This is coming us thanks to Colin Rugg, who's over on the good old X Twitter, saying, quote, Justin, country music star Garth Brooks accused of, I'm trying to keep this moderately fan-friendly, taking advantage of a makeup artist in a hotel room who worked for his wife. The alleged assault happened at the LA Grammy event May 2019. The following details may be disturbing to some. According to some of the lawsuit, Brooks booked a single hotel room for both of them. When the woman asked for a separate room, Brooks refused. She said that they were alone in the hotel. Brooks approached her in the doorway with no clothes on. Jeez. Dragged her to a separate room and dangled her upside down with angles, which, Jesus. Yeah, definitely cover up the ears if you have children listening. He then, I'm teaching the vernacular, so it's not word for word, so it's a little more family friendly, but he then took advantage of her, according to the lawsuit. The makeup artist says he was so violent that it felt as if she were breaking in two. In a separate incident, the woman claims that she was at Brooks' house waiting to apply his makeup when he emerged with no clothes on, and that's why he's saying this, is at full attention for her. He then placed her hands on his private, telling her that he harbored fantasies that she would perform things on him while wearing her glasses until he eventually concluded the event on her case, according to the Daily Mail. Brooks is a very vocal activist who preached out about love and tolerance and even performed at Biden's inauguration, which, yeah, he's been politically, he's been very much left for many years. Look, he's got what do you call it? The Rainbow Award? Got some type of sash on him. And let's see, it's about a minute of him speaking, which, just look at the eyes, they're telling. I'm only partially kidding. See what he has to say here.
Unity, loving one another, man. That's kind of what you spent your time doing. And as a singer, that's what you get to sing about.
Here's the deal, man. If you want to come to friends and low places, come in. But come in with love. Come in with tolerance, patience. Come in with an open mind. And it's cool.
Disturbing, it was sad. Try to remember, though, we are the human race. So I'm always going to find some.
Oh, look at the eyes.
Funny sides in there. This is a longer conversation probably between me and you, Jimmy, but the fact that we do make choices very much on the spur of the moment. I deal in music. I deal in raw emotion. That's what music is all about. And
I'm surprised. So I did look. There's not a community notes fact check on this. It says he deals in emotion. I can't help but feel he just has no emotion at all. He says he has emotion, but does he? Or is he just faking it because he's secretly a serial killer? Maybe. Not out of the realm of possibilities.
And all that passion, misguided as it is, I think you saw the human race in a time that, for me as a person, seemed to reflect some other country's headline, if that makes any sense. Mm-hmm. But it's here. And all I can do is beg and plead for everybody to take that second, that moment, take a breath, think about it. Think about your family. Think about what the mark you're going to leave on this planet as a human being and with the children that you raise, and then make your decision.
Now, I guess technically speaking, leaving marks on the planet would involve topography, where if you look at a satellite looks down, they can actually tell if a hole's been dug and filled up with dirt, just because it does vary the elevation ever so slightly and discolors it a little bit. So he may very well have many of those throughout his property. It's never been confirmed or denied. I don't think he's ever been asked flat out Garth, where are the bodies? Or he's never responded to that question. Garth, where are the bodies at? People have been asking the question for many years now, and yet we have not had a real answer. Now, this preview got 5.5 million views and 19,000 likes. One of the first comments came from Chuck Costello saying, quote, white dudes for hairless are falling like flies. They have so much in common. Getting 5.3 thousand likes. Which Colin Ruck says, quote, there are bad people on both sides of the aisle, but there's nothing worse than someone who pretended to be a moral good guy in the public, but who does something for this allegedly in private. Getting 3.4 thousand likes, which, yeah, a lot of two-faced charlatans these days. Nunya says, quote, I get believing victims, but Garth is 5'10". Do you really believe he held anyone upside down by their ankles? I'm not a Garth fan, but it would hold off on judging. And 1.5 thousand likes. Now, the lawsuit does say that she is 5 foot, and we don't know if Garth Brooks, perhaps like Ron DeSantis, maybe he wears giant cowboy boots that add 5 to 6 inches to his height. Again, there are many questions to be asked. The base electrician asked, or rather says, quote, why does it seem that the celebrities that are the loudest about their support for Democrats always end up being scumbags? Getting 847 likes. Let's see here. Cash Loren says, no one is above the law, right? If Brooks is convicted, he should be spent the rest of his life in prison, getting 350 likes. Which, yeah, no. If I were a gambling man, I'd say I would not put money on that. I mean, remember, Alec Baldwin killed someone on set, allegedly, what do you call it, involuntary manslaughter. He totally didn't know there's bullets in that gun, or that when you pull the hammer back on the revolver and pull the trigger that it goes off. He got off scot-free. Yeah. American Papa Bear says, quote, he's also been accused of being a serial killer. Looks like he wasn't far off base, getting 63 likes. Well, who knows what might come to the surface soon. Let's see. Dog Realtor says, quote, so many more to follow. Jim from The Office giving the old, looking at the whiteboard meme. It says, the world isn't getting worse or darker. The veil sheltering you from reality is lifting. Getting 871 likes. Let's see here. Apparently, let's see here. Gerald TM says, apparently Garth Brooks has a really creepy and disgusting side to him, getting 364 likes, which, let's see. One more. I'll do 2 more comments. Ben Tima says, I'm no Garth Brooks fan, but why wait 5+ years to bring it up? Just makes it unreliable, getting 413 likes, which, yeah, there's a pointed debate for a lot of folks. I mean, there's some, especially when it comes to Trump, like, what was it, 2 decades later he had an allegation against him? I know there are a lot, and it's a very complex topic. I know there's a lot of people who are very intimidated after the incident. They're scarred. They're scarred and traumatized if it happens to them, so they might not want to go to police immediately. I understand that perspective. I think the average person, though, when they see the bigger the time gap, the more suspicious they are. And 5 years is a long time, but also, this is an incident where I'm guessing she's an independent contractor. She's working with Garth Brooks, which, then we suppose by how much he's paying this person, I'm not sure how. They probably were, again, it's all alleged, but I would guess the perspective of, I don't know how I could replace this, possibly replace this income. How would you get a reference for a celebrity if he fired you or something like that? So yeah, I'm just gonna say I'll wait till there's more facts to come to the surface. Obviously, it's all allegations right now. James Jeanette says, can't wait to hear what Tom Segura says about it, getting 766. Oh wow, went up twice, 768 likes. Which, let's see. And there's a couple more memes about having a red wave, which who knows? That's supposed to happen, throughout the past couple years, since more of an anemic dribble. But yeah, things are not looking good for Garth Brooks. I'm not sure. I mean, let me know in the comments. Do you think he'll actually, do you think he'll be convicted, or do you think it's just an allegation? Again, we're not, as of right now, we haven't seen any specific evidence. Granted, by the time this video is rendered and uploaded, we might have something new. But let me know the thoughts in the comments, because as always, be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Now, going over to the political part of the podcast, yeah, FEMA apparently spent $640 million on illegals, but doesn't have much left for the hurricane victims, which, yeah, I keep forgetting. I would love to hear the justification. Why do we pay taxes still? I can't but see that most people, when you pay taxes, you seem to get the least amount. Seems the best. Like if you look at all the money, I'd love to see an infographic, especially when you see the U.S. like money leaving the U.S. with all the quote unquote aid we give throughout the globe. Like how much money we give the government, how much of it actually benefits us directly? It would probably be a very depressingly low percentage, I would suppose. Now, this is brought to us, again, thanks to Colin Rugg, who's over at the good old X Twitter, hashtag Colin Rugg, COLINRUGG, if you want to check him out. This quote, report from death toll from Hurricane Helene has surpassed 200 as FEMA announced they, quote, do not have funds to help Americans make it through the hurricane season. Wow. This is due to the fact that $640.9 million in FEMA administrative funds have been spent on illegal immigrants. Jesus, $640.9 million. And I know it's kind of cliche to keep driving this point home, but we do have homeless veterans out there. We do have people who are of no cost, in circumstances that are not of their own, where they're in very rough situations, and they don't get help, and they've been paying to the system for decades, maybe. Jeez. They say, quote, a new report also claims FEMA failed to deploy assets, including 12 medevac helicopters, are just sitting in Greenville, South Carolina, reported by Callie Jane Crepper, which, yeah, it's also pretty evil. They're telling private citizens they can't fly out there and take their own assets to try to help people. Perhaps because then everyone would see how utterly useless the government is, now infinitely more effective the private sector and good people are when they step up to the plate. There's someone with a private helicopter, they're literally going to the disaster zone, taking people out, and then after they did a couple times, the government came and said, oh no, you can't do that. You got an authorization. Disgusting. And they say, quote, unconfirmed reports say the death toll is much higher than 200. Already over 500 bodies. There are bodies in trees, mud, cars, houses everywhere. No federal support whatsoever. A law enforcement agent told John Rich, which, yeah, of course. Locals and Good Samaritans are doing everything they can, but are failing to receive government assistance they need. The government's failure to provide necessary assistance could also impact the election in North Carolina with just a month away. And here you can see terrible music. We'll play. Yeah, another reason to listen on the good old Rumble, because they won't take the music out, most likely. Actually, no, they've never done that to me. Jesus. So it's a little video compilation just showing it. My town. All the buildings just demolished to nothing. And of course, you do see some folks with bulldozers or dump trucks trying to help. And of course, they're all local, but you don't see any federal badges or identification on them because presumably they're all local people or businesses trying to help. Why do we pay the government federal taxes again? Like, jeez. Like, yeah. Imagine, depending on what your tax bracket, 40% of your money is stolen. I mean, taxed by the federal government. 40%? It's insane. 40%. Then you have all their taxes that go on top of that. Federal government has a good old gasoline tax. So. Wow. Yeah, so in that video compilation, and granted, this is anecdotal evidence, this is one video. It got 3.9 million views, but yeah, it did, single federal government asset. And it also got 42,000 likes. Now, some of the top comments coming from Junita Broderick. She says, quote, the $750 was a slap in the face to mostly red states. It was deliberate, getting 1.7 thousand likes. Now, Kyle Ruck says, quote, there's no upside to giving these struggling Americans government help. Illegals, there's potential future voters. They're cheap labor. They make the economic data look good for the Biden-Harris administration. They give blue states a toss-up and more electoral votes. True, getting 984 likes, which, yeah, people always wonder, like, what's the point of having illegals, come to the state? It's like, they get more people, they quite literally get more representatives sent to the House of Representatives because of it. Because I'm not sure who made this decision, how mentally vacuous or immoral it was. The census is based on everyone that's there, not just legal citizens. It should be just legal citizens, but another topic for another time, perhaps. Gunther Eagleman says, quote, our government is pathetic. Then Kamala goes to extend $750 to each family. Ridiculous, getting 1.4 thousand likes, which, again, I'm not sure about the hotel charges in those areas, but would that even cover more than a week or two staying in a hotel? Kamala responds saying it's on purpose. They are abandoning the people of North Carolina, just like they did the people of Maui. True. They also see no upside of helping these Americans, so they won't. But in Ukraine, illegals, they get billions on a moment's notice, getting 2,000 likes, which, yeah, just a couple, last week, cut yet another check for Ukraine of $8 billion. And I don't mean to be too negative on Ukraine, and I kind of drive it. It's a recurring theme where I kind of rag about how much money we give them, but it's just one of those things I don't understand the business justification of helping them out, or the more, like, not a strategic ally. And, like, if you look at the data, like, just Google or Brave search, like, the top 10 trading partners of Ukraine, we're not even in the top 10. And truth be told, most of the people that are the top 10 trade partners of Ukraine are not our allies. Some of them are even our opponents. So it's just ridiculous. Or just more proxy wars. Kevin Nelson says, maybe we can get Zelensky to go to Congress on behalf of the U.S., getting 398 likes. I mean, you just need to relabel all these states to Ukraine and you get funding overnight. Again, $200 billion now, again, to Ukraine, and that is a combination between cash as well as military armaments and other, physical materials, which you could argue that you're reinvesting in the local U.S. economy because it's American-made manufactured goods. Though granted, that doesn't increase the U.S., overall, wealth or value. Really, for defense, I see the business justification of, increasing value to the country in terms of sales is if they sell to our allied nations. That I understand in terms of, well, yeah, that would be increasing the economy. But I partially digress. Going down more and more. Paul Zupa says, quote, our government has failed the American people once again, and yet Kamala wants to raise taxes and give billions to foreign countries. There's no forgiving any of this. Getting 218 likes. We do have some contrarian statements bringing to the surface, though. You have Craig Chamberlain saying, quote, these clowns in Congress find or print money any way they want to raise. How about they not have the funds to? How do they not have the funds to help the victims of Hurricane Helene? Getting 68 likes. Let's see here. Human, which his flags or his emojis, because of course he has emojis as his name like a child or a woman, has a picture of, what is it? The peace symbol, the Ukrainian flag, the blue wave, and he actually does have the USA flag. And he's a little radical leftist, but again, I try to follow as many people as possible, so the comments are not just an echo chamber. Hashtag the Topping Show if you want to see my Twitter activities. And I say it's human. His hashtag is literally for humanity, and he used for the numeral 4. He didn't spell it out. And yeah, his name is human. Can't but think it's just what a robot would want us to think, isn't it? But I partially digress. Now he says, quote, beware the posts containing the mix of semi-accurate information, misleading claims, and unverified speculation. Here's a clear breakdown. The figure of 200 is accurate based on multiple news reports. The claims are much higher. One is lack of credible verification from credible sources. Getting 70 likes. What is this? What is this one? Oh, who gives a damn? It's funny. It is a leftist I follow, though, so I'll read it because, again, it's a contrarian statement. But I just say it's just annoying because it has nothing to do with the substance, which is what leftists radically usually do. So this is from Keith Aloha, who, the one time I suppose it is appropriate to have an emoji in your name. His name is Keith Aloha, and he has the palm tree in his profile, or in his name. And he is someone who says, vote blue, animal lover, pro-choice, never Trump. Hey, at least he follows me back. So maybe he appreciates diverse opinions. So I'll at least give him credit in that regard. Granted, I think I followed him first, but I say it's just so ridiculous, his response, because he's not addressing the substance of this issue. He just did a copy paste of never forget, remember in November. And it's about, oh yeah, how Trump tried to overturn the election results and it's insurrection on the Capitol. Oh yeah, when the police, the one death was from the police shooting a civilian. And oh yeah, the police, in many cases, calmly guided people through the Capitol. And Pelosi admitted it was her fault that all the bad things happened. But I partially digress. I'm sure Keith got a couple likes. Actually, no, he got 12 likes, more than a couple. Another friendly reminder to like this video. Or don't like it. Give it a downvote and let me know why. How could I improve? There are a myriad of things, I know, but always appreciate feedback. Even if it does take me a couple days to get back, just because work can be a little bit hectic, so appreciate your patience to reply to the comments, as I do try to reply to all of them when I can. Going down, you also have Rob Goat says, quote, if our government can't help the American people after a hurricane, how am I supposed to believe they're going to help us if we were struck by many of the countries that we're escalating tensions with? We are so vulnerable right now, it doesn't make any sense. Getting 175 likes, which, well, yeah, they would do nothing. We can't even protect our border from people illegally entering. If another country wanted to invade us, it would be so... The only thing stopping that, in my opinion, is we do have advanced military technologies. The top defense contractors on the planet are all headquartered in America, and they make some of the most fantastic technologies, bar none. Also, America was founded on the Second Amendment, and every real American has at least one firearm or more. If you look at the firearm ownership per person, the U.S. has one of the best, aka the biggest number on the planet. And if people actually try to invade our country, most Americans, I believe, would step up to the plate and unify and appropriately defend themselves. I mean, famously, during World War II, a Japanese general, they were talking about, why don't you invade the mainland? And a Japanese general famously said, because there'd be a gun behind every blade of grass. And that is a very prolific quote, one of the most famous quotes, especially if you're American and a fan of the Second Amendment. You hear that quote goes around a lot. Let's see here. And somebody named Greg Scott saying this is nonsense. FY 2025 started Tuesday. FEMA has a budget of $33 billion, with $27 billion specifically for disaster relief and National Flood Insurance Program. How can they not have the funds for disaster relief? And it's a gif of Loki shaking your hand. It says you had one job, getting 178 likes. This is a perfect juxtaposition of two pictures. Nancy says there's no excuse for this. And on the left is a picture of a broken, obviously from the hurricane. Looks like perhaps a family hugging. They got $750. And then it's juxtaposed with a picture of an illegal alien who famously beat up a police officer, I believe it was in New York, and they just let him out of jail. Put him on, I think, no cash bail probably. And when he was exiting the jail, he had two thumbs up, or sorry, not thumbs up. He's flipping off the camera with both hands. And that's the number above his head is $2,500, which is what a lot of illegals are getting. Which begs the question, what's the point of working or paying taxes? That did get 344 likes. And yeah, you would think, I mean, I almost debate if there's really any activity or any tragedy or anything that can really unite Americans these days, when, again, Trump was brilliant in terms of, well, not just, I think he is authentic, but he was also, feet on the ground, helping these people out as soon as he could, which, again, I understand there's a positive political gain from doing that as well. I'm not saying it's 100% not, I'm not saying it's not at least a little self-serving, but yeah, Kamala, like, being absent for multiple days, I mean, that was terrible. Then I'll never forget their excuse for Kamala not visiting was, oh yeah, we don't want to interfere with the emergency services. First of all, there's not many to interfere with, and that has never stopped them from getting a photo op ever, ever, ever. That's one of the weakest excuses since the head of the Secret Service said, oh yeah, we didn't have a counter sniper on the roof because it was sloped and we were worried about our team's safety. And the sloped roof was less sloped than, well, shoot, you could probably crawl up that with anything. And oh yeah, the other counter snipers are on roofs with greater inclines. Just as ridiculous. But let me know, how do you think this will evolve in terms of people stepping up to the plate? Will the federal government give more than $750? And then do you think this will have a big impact on the upcoming election? Let me know in the comments, because as always, it'd be fascinating to hear what you have to say. Other interesting political news, you have Elon Musk on Democrats importing illegals into swing states. Now, this comes to us appropriately from X-Twitter, where Elon has, again, recently passed 200 million followers. Not to brag, but I did have over 450 followers lately. Hashtag the Topping Show. I do respond to many things and sometimes post. Check me out. And follow. So Elon says, quote, Dems are doing deliberate, Again, click that subscribe button. It might help with us speaking Neptunes. I have a goal of making it through a whole episode one day, perfectly speaking fluently. And the more subscribers I get, the better I've become at speaking. So that feels my theory. Click that button. It might just make the show even better. Elon says, quote, the Dems are doing deliberate voter importation to swing states and fast-tracking them to citizenship. The only question is when, not if, enough migrants can vote to flip all swing states, shifting the country to a permanent one-party rule, just like what happened in California after the 1986 amnesty. Unquote. Yep. Yeah, those amnesties are full BS. He says diabolically smart, to be sure. That's why I keep saying it. Unless Trump wins and reverses the scam, 2024 will be the last election in America. The Dems machines voters impersonation scam is the true threat to democracy, not Trump. And he got not enough views. To me, I think he should got more of this. He got 26.9 million views and 145,000 likes. Now, this is a response to ALX, who says, quote, increase in illegal immigration in population in swing states under the Biden-Harris administration. This is percentage increase since 2021. Georgia, not 10%, not 20%, not 40%, 401%. Increased population of 45,745. North Carolina, 446%, correlating to 32,681. Pennsylvania, 25,721, correlating to 241%. The most egregious by percentage is Arizona, 734%. That's insane. Correlating to 15,931. Michigan's, 532%. Gotta be dyslexia or something. Michigan had the most egregious at 775%, correlating to 13,162. Wisconsin at 467%, correlating to 10,768. Which, yeah, there's a reason it's not a coincidence they're all many of them are going to swing states. Yeah. A lot of people call this treason or a threat to democracy. I mean, it's so cliche. They keep saying, oh yeah, Trump is a threat to democracy. And he's the one taking bullets for democracy. I mean, he's not the one that was censoring Americans, trying to steal their guns, trying to have price fixing. Like, jeez, it literally is the pot calling the the pot calling the kettle black. And I try to be as objective as possible. And again, I always tell folks, Biden had a couple good policies. I think Trump had a lot more. But like, this is just so ridiculous. Now, one of the top comments comes from Alexander Merez saying, quote, "Who's pulling the strings? That's my big question, getting 4.5 thousand likes." Elon Musk responded saying, quote, he'll expand the screen there. It says, quote, "Not any one person as far as I know. There is the George Soros boogeyman, of course, and the various Democrat leaders, but no single mastermind. It seems to be a simple matter of incentives. The more illegals imported, the higher the Dem vote over time. It will only backfire on the Dems if there is a revolt by existing citizens. Otherwise, it would certainly a certain path to permanent one-party rule. A common rebuttal I hear is that illegals are not woke and not non-liberal values, so why would they vote Democrat? The reason is that they would bring in their friends and family to America, which two Republicans oppose, and many are beholden to Democrat government handouts. That trumps whether they or not agree with liberal Democrat social values, which that is interesting. You look at the kind of as families are imported to the U.S. and how their voting patterns do change over time. There's some truth to that statement. He continues saying, quote, "Certainly this has been the case in California, which used to be a reliable republic. After the 1986 amnesty for illegals, California never voted for a Republican president ever again. It is now a supermajority Democrat." That statement did get 20,000 likes and 836,000 views, which, yeah, people forget California used to be red a long time ago, and it's just gotten blue. And let me know in the comments, has California gotten better since it's gone blue? San Francisco, how's that been going? That's a political and heartbreaking kind of dark humor. Punk is terrible. Most business, they have some of the highest number of businesses leaving California. Same with New York, another deep blue place. Same with Illinois, or if you live there, you call it Illinois. And interesting, they're all going to these, middle and red states mostly. Well, what will they do? Businesses and people do, and there's nowhere else to escape to. That's the scary part. Going back to the main comment section, you have AKA saying, quote, "No passing the SAVE Act really shows you that they're getting illegals to vote," getting 2,000 likes, which, yeah. Craig Chamberlain says, quote, "This seems to have learned a lot about manipulating elections from California," getting 247 likes. Let's see. I'm not seeing. David Sullivan, hashtag prosecute Fauci, good pronouns, saying, "I love to see the change this year. California voting Republican, at least for Trump." And instead of California, it says MAGAfornia, getting 309 likes. I mean, again, I'm not a gambling man, but if you actually flip California, I'd be really impressed. I'll do one more. This is a meme from Natalia Sardia saying, quote, "It's all about incentives." It's a little, is it not loading? X Twitter? That's disappointing. When I click on the meme and try to make it bigger on the screen, took a New York minute to reload. Jeez Louise. Now it's the good old Scooby-Doo, the real OG one. We have Fred, unmasking one of the ghosts, but it's Kamala Harris's face on Fred's body. It's the ghost is called illegal immigrant. Takes off the mask and becomes a voter. Got 1.3 thousand likes. And yeah, it's probably one of the biggest concerning things, especially when you look at the statistics on how we're realizing, well, we're not really vetting these people when they illegally enter, and a lot of them, or many of them, turn out to be literally the thing Trump was warning everyone about was those literally killers, women abusers, child abusers, and some I assume are good people. Which, yeah, that's the worst Trump impression of the year. I'll take that I'll be honest. But yeah, let me know in the comments. Do you think, they voted against the SAVE Act. I don't know how things are going to be saved at this moment, but do you think there's any comeback? It's every couple decades just copy paste the same amnesty thing. They don't actually address the issue, which, again, I blame a lot of rhinos, pejoratively known as Republicans in name only, for not actually doing anything. Again, the fact that they can't repeal the National Firearms Act of 1934 is beyond me. Another topic for another time, I know. But yeah, let me know. Are you optimistic this will be fixed anytime soon, or you just kind of think those are all going to be votes locked in? Let me know in the comments, because as always, it'd be fascinating to hear what you have to say. And going over to the business blunder of the day, you have Harley Davidson issuing a recall, which, yeah, that's not great, because it's not a Honda, so inherently, yeah, it's not very reliable to begin with. Though, again, if I won the lottery, I used to want a Harley Iron 883 a couple years ago. If I won the lottery, I'd probably get a Harley. They used to have a good rumble to them. Now, this brought to us thanks to unorayo.com, a new website for me. And specifically, they say, quote, "Say goodbye to Harley Davidson. More than 40,000 new motorcycles are being recalled for the serious defect. Here's a list of affected models." And they say, let's see here. What is the VIN? Harley Davidson. So Harley Davidson, oh geez Louise, they're recalling 65,224 motorcycles due to a fault in the rear brake system that could cause malfunction. The defect raises, I love how it's almost like government speak. They had to spell out the most rudimentary things. This defect could raise the risk of a crash if the brake systems fail to function as intended. You don't say. The brake's not working increases the odds of a crash. Who would have guessed? Jeez. They say, quote, solution, Harley Davidson will perform necessary repairs for free. Notification letters will be sent out by October 15th. Or just tune to this show, since we tend to cover them infinitely, or a lot quicker than that. For information, you can call Harley Davidson. Make sure see if your SKU is affected. 1-800-256-2464. Looks like the model is affected was the Harley Davidson FLHX Street Glide, manufactured from 2020 to 2023. Which, when you talk about, again, when it comes to marketing of vehicles, I'm a little pessimistic on the whole nomenclature of just numerals. I think, well, more tricky internationally for advertising, because words mean different things in different countries. I mean, I like things to actually have names, not just numbers, though. That being said, I do still love the Cadillac CT4V Blackwing and CT5V Blackwing. I wish there's something, it's called something cooler. But yeah, this is called the Harley Davidson FLHX Street Glide. They should call it Flex. That would at least be moderately more entertaining. But again, you can call with your specific VIN number to see if it's affected at 1-800-256-2464. And again, when it comes to motorcycle reliability, I mean, Harley's, they've never been the top reliability. And don't get me wrong, they have one of the most strongest brands out there, and they have a long heritage, and they have a lot of support. But it's not going to be the most reliable thing. If you want reliability, kind of cliche, kind of like automobiles, you usually go Japanese, get yourself a nice Honda. And they make some great motorcycles. That's how Soichiro Honda founded his own company. And someday I'd love to have a Honda motorcycle. But yeah, having another recall when your brand already isn't known for reliability and it's already people skeptical buying it. Gotta say, Harley, that is certainly the business blunder of the day. Thank you, everyone, for taking the time to tune in. Again, trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of the month. So if you can click that button, I would greatly appreciate it. Also, give me a thumbs up, thumbs down, or comment is a great way to give me some additional feedback, letting me know how I can make the show better and better. Lastly, don't forget to take time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe, fight the good fight.